Welcome everybody to our indoor gym. On behalf of Mr. Ritzler, I'm supposed to give this short introduction here. I think you all know Mr. Jahoda from the lecture in the lecture hall. We have 4 athletes here today who will do the practical with Mr. Jahoda. That's Marlene from Estonia, and then we have 3 locals from my training group. That's Tamara, Lara, and Leonie. And the rest is up to you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, I know it's after lunch, and you guys are sitting. I hope there will be all eyes open during this presentation. What I want to do is to show you, again, the big picture, the main topics, what we think is necessary for pole vault. So we have the parts, mobility, flexibility, stability. I want to show you for the part mobility, flexibility, the main part to activate the hip jump. The next part will be stability, mainly core and a lot of stability in the pelvis area, not to lose the transfer of the forces. And then, as I showed you the positions, that it's important not to think we need just the mat to do core training. For pole vault, the specific exercises should be in standing, in movement, and also to be able to stabilize the core in the air. So to do sit-ups, there's not much transfer to the specific core stability in the air. So I will show you a few methodical steps, so you have a little big overview of our ideas. When we talk about mobility, I showed you some routines, but the basic idea, how long should we mobilize? How long should we do flexibility, stretching, whatsoever? There are many definitions. There are some athletes, like gymnasts, they can stay in position, so do it for a few minutes to stay in position. When we look again at the soccer players, after 10 seconds they are done. So there are different methods, well, that's not a method with the soccer players, but different approaches. We have the experience, everything should be around 30-40 seconds minimum to have a little effect in the structures. So everything if you tell the athlete, let's do 20 seconds, they make it shorter anyways. So try to say 30-40 at least, so then after 20-30 when they finish, at least we have a little effect. So for pole vault, let's start with the mobility. Important part is the hip jump, as I told you. I just showed first before we start with the practical. The typical exercises, when I'm a coach and I know my athlete has a lack of mobility in the hip jump, and I let you know, well, do the hip swinging, which helps you for the hip jump. What will happen? I'm sniffing the hip. I can show you a lot of range of motion for my hip joint, but actually, it's not much hip, it's more lower back. So you give him the exercise, what happens after 3 weeks? The hip is still stiff, but there's something new, he has back pain. So the idea is bad. So before we go to those dynamic stuff, the quality is important. So please, dear athletes, take 1 mat each. Wherever, yes. Good, we start with some functional stuff I showed you already, with a little bit variations. For mobilizing the hip, let's get in the push-up position. From this position, I want you to step forward, not to stay here, but to push the hip a little bit down until the first resistance. I can stay for a few seconds or just go back. And the other side. Up, 1, 2, and back, and continue. 1, 2, and back. So we have here the dynamic movements, not the static positions for cool down whatsoever. That's dynamic. A few more. Okay, we go more to the external rotation. From here, put the leg down and push the hip down. 1, 2, and back. And the other side. 1, 2, and continue. I see some synchronity here. Very nice. Okay, good. In the knee position, please come to the abduction of the hip joint, where we have also a little pre-stretch. So it's not like easy, but a little pre-stretch. And in this position, we change the hip joint. Cross your arms and flex the hip forward, and we go also a little bit into the extension, where you feel different structures that are reactive. Flexion and extension. A few times. Forward. And I don't care if it's the joint, what they feel like limitation, if it's the muscle, if it's the fascia, if it's the joint capsule. I'm not thinking into details, I just see the movement, as I said before. Okay, we stay in this position. We combine now with rotation, left and right. Combined spine in abduction of the hip. Okay, we stay in the hip abduction but still hip extension. Now we continue with more rotation of the hip joint. We go into the external hip rotation and internal. Without compensating and turning, pelvis stays in the neutral position and external rotation and back. Up and back. And we combine it with hip flexion. Coming forward, we have hip flexion, abduction, and combine it with active hip rotation to the outside and back. So it can be like a warm-up routine when you do it with your athletes. Instead of just saying, okay, let's do 1 minute of swinging, maybe they have more back. Here the main topic is the hip joint. Okay, we stay low, and we combine it. I'm stiff, one side, other side. And of course, I'm not talking about training methods now, I'm talking just about movements. So I can even say, rotation and stay. Everybody stay, 3, 4, 5, and the other side. So it's how you define it. If it's more the cool down, we can stay longer. If it's before the activity, we can do more dynamic. Thank you. Good, little change. So we have balance, we do just a few reps. Abduction of the left leg, just do 1 or 2 reps. Flexion, extension, to repeat it, let's go. Forward, backwards. Rotation, left and right. We have the rotation now. Yeah. Rotation of the hip joint, neutral position, and external internal rotation. And correction here, and just the hip joint. Let's go. Yeah. Of course, people always try to compensate. The goal can be, okay, I want you to combine it with the pelvis, with the spine, but now I just want to focus on the hip joint itself. So, okay, hip flexion, go down. Rotation of the leg to the outside and back. And rotation of the upper body, left and right. Till the first resistance, and go back and the other side. Very nice. Okay, good. Now we come to the position where I don't feel comfortable at all. Left leg flexed, external rotation. Right leg, internal rotation. See me sitting? When you see someone sitting like that, you know immediately forget pole vault, let's mobilize. So, yeah, they look good. Okay, cross your arms, straight back, and we go into the flexion of the hip and extension. Perfect, and forward again. You don't have to go that far, back. Oh, they're very flexible, very nice. And back. We stay in upright position, rotate left and right. Very good. Quick, other side, 1, 2 reps. Turn around. And let's go. Forward, backwards. For me, this is mission impossible. So you see immediately, sometimes you don't have to test. I told you have to test every athlete. But sometimes an exercise is already like a screening test. According to the quality of movement, you know if they are stiff, weak, and so on. Great. We go into knee position, bring one foot forward, the left. Now we're working on the active hip mobility. We don't have to go back. We are here in the front on the first resistance, and we just move the pelvis forward to mobilize the hip joint, to stretch the structures. It doesn't matter which structures these are. The next thing is leg to the outside, body straight, and we go to the outside. We have more abduction of the hip. And we combine forward, outside, forward. So we are only in the part in front to work till the first resistance to improve extension on the right. And let's change. Up, forward, and outside. And combine forward, outside, forward, outside. Head straight. As I said, always check the posture. If you see an athlete looking down what they're doing, what many athletes do, the first thing is here. Okay, we stay with the right in the front. First resistance, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. Now we go with the right around. Up. Look towards this wall and go down. 1, 2. And forward again. 1, 2. Hip extension and external rotation. 1, 2. Perfect. Change the leg. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Go back. 1, 2. Forward, left leg around, look to the left wall. 1, 2, and forward again. 1, 2, and around. 1, 2. Perfect. Good, so you see the possibilities on one spot how to mobilize in 3D, dynamic. We come now to the active stuff. Everybody please stand up. We start here, in one line. Stand here, and we start with dynamic mobility. I want you to do that. Big step up, in one line, yeah, till here. Big step, and then again, go inside and push the hip down. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, let's go. Just do 4, 5, 6 steps. First resistance, yeah. And you can, again, you can leave them there for 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds. It's up to you. But these mobility exercises are more functional than to let them swing for 20 seconds and then think they're ready for forward. Okay, relax, come back here. One line. Now, big step again. Now, let arms inside, grab from the inside, my cable. And bring the leg to the outside, external rotation. 1, 2, coming up, up. 1, 2, let's go. Very nice. And the next step. Andere Hand. Linke durch, ja. Nice. One more step. Okay, relax. We go to sumo. Wide squat, but those who are stiff like me, when I show it from the side, I do wide squat. You see my spine not very extended, it's more like downhill. So again, according to the quality, you see my training topics already. So what you try, wide squat, straight back, just till the first resistance. If I go lower, I lose it. So try to straight here. Stay here, 1, 2, hop, big step. 1, 2, and the chest out, hop, and let's go. Wide squat, stay down, 1, 2, and hop. 1, 2, hop, wide squat, and down. 1, 2, hop. And one more step. Very nice. Good. We stay in the line. Now, old school. Down, straight back, duck walk. Let's go. 5 meters. It's old school exercise, but very functional, very good to improve the mobility of the hip joint. Straight back. Okay, and relax. And as I told you, come here back. Not to forget the transfer to the actual movement activity. So we don't just mobilize and say that's it. At the end, I want you at least 5-10 meters, knees high. Let's go, little dynamics. Straight ahead, up. Very nice. Relax. Turn around, and one more line. And relax. Thank you very much. And you can go back on the mat. So you see, this is the active way of mobilizing. And we were just working on the hip joint. But there are many possibilities. And at the end, we could learn a routine, maybe individual, you can sit down, individual routines, because maybe one person needs more the hip joint, the other one needs more the spine, the third one, hip joint is fine in extension, but maybe just a rotation. So we can make it specific. Or you create a routine for your team, and then you say everybody individual, 2-3 rounds, and meanwhile the coach can prepare the other training content. And even if you don't see the athletes, if you tell them every day, 1 or twice, you covered the topic. Good. Mobility part. We come to stability. As I told you, even pole vault is a complex movement, arms and so on. Everything starts in the center of the body, core. So I will show some methodics, position on the back, then on the stomach, on the side. We come to standing and then to movement. So you see just some ideas. I will not show you 1,000 core exercises, but just a few ideas. So we start in the lying position on your back. Please lay down on your back. So I told you for pole vault that it doesn't make sense to do some crunches or sit-ups with the flex tip. You need the activity from the extension to the flexion. Of course, the better position would be to be on the, how do you call it, the bar, yeah, and work already specific. But not everybody on the lower level can handle it. So these are the first steps. So everything I'm showing you now are lower steps, and then you can always improve it till killing exercise. And important is for each coach. I know that every coach has ideas how to progress with exercise, how to make it more difficult, over speed, over weight, over position. But a good coach is someone who sees compensation and knows how to go also 2-3 steps down. This is important. And not only make it tougher. So it's important to know low-level exercises. We start to activate the lower back. Arms 45 degrees, feet are in the air, both the knees can be a little flexed. Okay. And we start with moving the hips up and down. Let's go. That's it. Here, how could we improve it to get more activity ventral? Bring your head up. Head is in the air. Then we have more tension on the ventral system. We can change the rhythm. When I say hop, then you hold it in the air for 2 seconds. Ready? And hop. 1, 2, slowly down. Hop. 1, 2, and down. One more time. Hop. 1, 2, and down. So it's not only about changing the movement, you can change the rhythm, change the method. Next one. Bring the hip up and put it down on one side. Up, other side. Let's go. Little left and right. You can go ganz direkt rechts. Ja, genau. Und so. Okay. Then, important, it's one of our principles in core training. Everything we do, like sit-ups or with the bar coming up, it's all symmetric. But pole vault, even running, is asymmetric movement. So from the basic symmetrics, you should go to asymmetric. So asymmetric position, starting easy, asymmetry in your pelvis, one leg over, and let's go. Move it up and down. Keep your head in the air, we have more activity. Yes. We can go to more asymmetry. This is a tough one. One leg extended over the mat, one extended here, extend it, and now move it up and down, higher, up, Yeah, but this one doesn't go up. Let's go. Up, yeah. Up. And you see them already suffering. Relax. So sometimes you have core exercises where the athletes on high level are like, I can do 50, 100 of them. But here, when you have your methodics, you reach a level where 10 are enough of the high level. And this is where we should work with them. When I see there's compensation, then I go back again. I'm not pushing it too hard. I should have always the quality. Change. First, flexed, just 3 times. So we have muscle balance. Let's go up and down. And asymmetric position, extended legs, and let's go. Up. And if I'm me, I tell them 2 seconds to hold, but we don't do it now. Okay, relax. I could go further. I'm not a pole jumper, so don't laugh. So for the pole vault, I could change the position. Hold it here. So ist das erst, wenn springst du relativ weit weg. Passt doch. Same thing. And let's go. 1. So we can do it even more specific with the position. It's up to you how you build it up. You can work on the wall with the ladder and so on, but you see the step-by-step approach. Maybe this one is too difficult for beginner. The beginning will be maybe just to start here, to pre-activate if they are weak in the core. So don't think the easiest exercises are useless. They're important to come step by step to that level. Okay, we come to the next position because I want to show you mostly in standing and movement. The next position is stomach. On your stomach, hands towards the audience. Here we work mostly for the dorsal system. So when we work, you can do arms extension, gargle, arms up, throwing balls and so on. But what we want, a control of the lower back. So how do we control it? I want activation of the buttocks. Yes. And to hold it for the whole time. If they lose it, we stop the exercise. Otherwise the activity goes into the passive structures. And with the legs, they are very relaxed here. I want some tension in the legs. That's why I tell the athletes, bring the toes up. Yes. Hold the toes up, more activation in the legs. Hold it here. The head should be in the line with the spine. And let's start. Flex and extend. Looking down. One arm up, one down, close to the body. Just some variations. Touch your fingers in the front, touch your fingers in the back. Put your hands towards your head, small extensions of the upper body. Now look to the right, look to the left. You know these exercises. Arms in the front, fast movements. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We were still working symmetric. We go to asymmetric. Left leg to the front, sideways. Asymmetric position, toes are up. Now, just the right side is activated. The left side is impossible, anatomically. Looking down, let's start. Flex and extend. Touch in the front, touch in the back. If you see guys, athletes, doing these exercises, it sounds like suffering, but not because they are weak, because they are stiff. Open up here and in the hip joint. Okay, put your hands towards the head, and now extend and turn towards the left knee. Up. Keep your hands to your head, and your Kopf. Ja, okay. Up. Yeah. Okay, extend your arms. 5 seconds. Up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Great. If somebody is too weak, completely weak in the dorsal, and if he lies on the stomach, he has back pain, then we go back to the basics. Then we start here, and let him work in this position. So don't forget the steps back. I'm just showing you little systematic steps. We change the leg, and here I'll show you 2 different variations. So in pole vault you have the extension of the arms, and you have the activation of the core. So we integrate the arms, but now more combined. In this position, I want lateral flexion towards the knee, and then up and down. Let's go. Just stay on the side, and up and down. Up, up. Yeah. We can see lack of mobility, not weakness. Okay, we stay in the position. Combination, fast movements, and then going to the left, going to the right, combined with the lateral system, dorsal system, asymmetric position, and don't forget to breathe. Let's go. Functional activity for the dorsal system in an asymmetric position. Perfect. Change the legs to feel difference. We just do the last two. So arms extended, lateral flexion to the left. This is compensation. See here? That's too much. Here there is some lack of mobility. You can see rotational compensation. So you can't do it with everyone. You should see the quality and then adapt the exercises. And then fast movements and move left and right. Yeah, you don't have to do it far. It's enough. Yeah. Okay, relax. Good. We stay with the stomach to the ground. In general, to work on the ventral system, forget all kind of sit-ups variations. Not very functional. The most effective ventral core exercises are always the planks. So the plank is more effective than sit-ups. But if you have an athlete who is weak in the core, in the ventral system, and he can't do plank because he had some shoulder problems or surgery, then you can go back to sit-ups. So it doesn't matter. So there is always a situation where you might need also exercises that are not your favorite. So we go to the plank. Please, everybody to the plank. These athletes are great, but if you have not so strong athletes, many coaches say, well, plank, please, one line. I'm not happy of the line because once they get tired, they will compensate here already. So I'm a fan of little pyramid, where I'm sure this is safe. Yeah. Okay? So don't try to keep the line. Yeah. Okay, relax. We go already to the next position, higher pyramid, combining with the arms, coming forward and back. Bring one leg in the air, do the same. One leg, forward and back. Activating ventral system, plus arm, shoulder, change the legs. Don't forget the higher pyramid, don't compensate, keep it straight. Let's go, head straight. Yeah. Okay, next version. It's not. Yeah. From the high pyramid, one leg up. When you go forward, you move this knee outside to the elbow. Up, coming back. And the second one, we combine it inside elbow. Up, let's go. And function. So we have asymmetric movement, ventral activity with core and upper extremity. And as I told you, it's important to activate as many muscles as possible. And the other leg, a few times. Sorry, girls. They're doing really good. And relax. Great. We finish the core on the mat, and then we move to other structures. So please now, lay down the side. We go to lateral core, looking towards me. So the basic, put your upper hand on the mat for the stability. Okay. Here again, to have more activity in the legs, toes up. Hold it all the time. The typical exercise, legs up and down. To have the lateral core. To get more activity, please hold your lower arm in the air, the whole arm. So there is more pre-activation lateral already, and move the legs up and down. I can be mean and also give it more then more activity here. Perfect, very nice. Stay in the air, legs in the air, both knees towards the chest. In the air, yes. And this one is here. Hold it, yeah. Keep the activity in the air. That's good. And relax. Actually, the next one here, we can do also coordination with core and lateral. Arm in the air, legs in the air, second arm in the air. Yes, stabilize. So we have lateral core plus ventral dorsal. And just with the arm, move it slowly forward, stabilize, and back. Up. Yeah, maybe too much. I would use maybe 1 kilogram. Sometimes just a water bottle is enough to get the muscles working together. First, you start step by step, lateral. Then you combine it with ventral dorsal. Good. Next step, we turn around to the other side. We go to the side plank. The typical exercise in the side plank, hips up and down. Let's just do 3 reps. 1, 2, 3. To make it harder, because some athletes can do like 50. Stay in this position, one leg in the air, and the hips up and down. 1, 2, 3. And as I said, we always change the position of the hip. Front leg, hip flexion. Let's go. Hold in the hip flexion. Gestreckt. And now up and down with the hip. 1. Now you see 3 reps, and he's on his limit. So it's not like, let's do again 50 reps with the hips up and down. Change the position. And if it's too hard, let him flex the knee at the in-between level. So step by step approach. Good. Turn around to my side. Now, plank again. Now you got the decoration here. Okay. Let's go. The other ones just with the arm. Stabilize the core. Let's start just with the upper knee to the chest. Very nice. Just the front arm, upper arm forward and back. Upper arm and the knee. Extended leg forward. And then with the arm. And then of course I can make it harder when the coach is here on the wall. Then it can be more and more demanding without too much compensation. But it's important that I'm not standing there all the time. They should feel it and stabilize it by themselves. That's the goal. Thank you very much. So we come to the next step. That's the core, the line before we come to standing. Before we come to standing with the lower extremity, there's the next floor. That's the pelvis. Extensors, abductors, and so on. The typical exercises everybody knows, which is actually not very functional, but for the beginning, it's okay. If somebody is really weak, like when you see the models walking, that's on purpose, but in athletics, we don't want to lose the stability here. So the basic exercises, looking towards me on the side, you can support your head, flex your lower knee, the lower one for more stability. And we start with the upper leg, flex and extend, just to activate the abductors. Second movement, flex and up, diagonal. So we change again the movements of the hip jump. The next one, up and down. We change the hip position, hip flexion, bring it forward, up and down. Small circles in the front. And big circles. So you see variations over the hip jump, not always the favorite position. Okay. But these exercises are okay for the first step. But this is the open chain. That means the leg is in the air. In athletics, in real life, we need the stability in the closed chain with the contact to the ground. So it doesn't mean it's bad. It's a good first step. But many coaches, they do it frequently, which is good, but that's it. And they are questioning why is the athlete jumping better now? Why is he still losing it? Because he didn't train it in a closed chain yet. So it's just the first step. Another variation, please come on knees and hands. What you also see as a variation to work here in the position with circles and so on. But of course, for pole vault, we need a lot of ventral core stability. So we'll combine it. I want you to activate the ventral core. So bring the knees just a little up. Hold the position. The knees are just 2 centimeters away from the ground. And let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, and circles. Let's go. A few circles. Keep the knees low. Good. Bring the leg to the outside. Hold it here. Extend the knee and back. Up. Breathe. They are shaking. Keep the leg extended to the side and up and down. You see already compensations. I'm not correcting everything, but you see how far we can bring them. And relax, guys. Relax. Great. It was your choice to come. Okay. So you see the progress. But this is still more in the lying positions. Now I want to come to standing. So please stand up. Maybe not standing on the mat, otherwise we have also a little poor perception. So next to the mat. Okay. So how do we activate the abductors in standing? We don't have to go always to the gym to do weights and so on. With the own body weight, sometimes it's enough. Everything you do on one leg activates the abductors already. That's the main rule that helps already. So what we do, imagine this is a barbell, it's heavy. Okay, so please stand on one leg, and even on one leg, we stay on the one leg maybe for 1 minute. You imagine your barbell is at least 10 kilograms heavy, and we do just one leg squat. Bring the barbell towards the knee and coming up. Keep your pelvis straight. Even here, it's a functional exercise for the abductors. Just a basic squat. And we stay here. The knee is still a little flexed, upright position. Now we go in a close chain, locally on the abductors. So the leg that is free in the air, we move it down and bring it up again. Slowly down and up. So it's the abductors locally working up. And I'm sure it's burning already for them. And you don't need any extra weight. But still we are here in the extended hip. We go lower in our squat, holding it here. Now we have flexed hip, the same thing. Up. In the closed chain, functional activity for the abductors. Great movement. Some athletes don't really understand the movement, so you need time for the technique first. And relax. Relax the leg. So when I work with the volleyball players, imagine they go to the block. Sometimes they land on one leg. If they would be weak here, what happens to the lower back, hip joint, knee joint? Over years. So what we did with the volleyball players, we let them do some squats. We let them do some in the upper part. Let them do some squats. Let them do in the lower part. After a few squats, stay in the middle part, and so on. So you can, with the own body weight, after 10-20 seconds, you will feel it already. Own body weight, warm-up exercise, however. It's okay? Other side, just a few reps. 2-3 squats. Stay in the upper part and work with the pelvis. Standing leg is a little flex to have more reactivation of the muscles. Flex the knee. Go down. Hold the stick in front of the knee. Chest out, ladies, yeah. Here, extend it, yeah. And move the hips. And relax. Okay, you can put the stick down. We come to core stability in standing. Of course, you have pulling devices, you can do anything you want. But in pole vault, you need like the driver with the neck, the reactivity. It doesn't help just to work static. You need dynamic fast, dynamic explosive, and reactive when you have the activity for the core to get it up and so on. So we start with the first exercise, 2 by 2, 2 and 2, together. Tara will show it first. That's what I do with teams, when we have more people, to activate the core in a dynamic way, reactive. I used it with basketball players, volleyball players, which is more effective. Imagine you train a soccer team, and the coach says, please do core stability outside, and it's raining, everywhere is water. So our typical thinking, we need a mat, and everywhere is water, what do? It's standing, functional. So the first exercise, partner standing opposite, arms extended, the distance of the shoulders. I'm having my arms together, stabilize my pelvis, and just move the arms as fast as possible from the left to the right. With the goal, as close as possible means 1 milliliter, and I'm not allowed to touch him. So if I'm not allowed to touch him, what happens? I have to stop immediately. And then the other side. I just showed 3 seconds. Ladies and boys, not dancing. Stabilize your hip, flex knees. These were 2 seconds. Dynamic, reactive for the core. First basic idea, let's go. Just try it out, and then I will say start and stop for everybody. Just try it out. So nah wie möglich, ein bisschen näher. Hopp, schneller, schneller, näher. And now fast. Faster, 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 closer. Okay, relax. So we are ready, we do just 15 seconds. You ready? In 3, 2, not the first one. You start. It was just a tryout. 3, but important, don't flex the elbows, keep them extended. 3, 2, 1, up, and speed. Right and left, go, 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 breathe. Closer, closer to the hands, let's go. Yeah, stabilize the pelvis, up, 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 up. Fast, fast, fast. Stabilize, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Other one, ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Up, up, up. Close, close, closer, closer, closer. Yeah. Näher an die Hand. Komm. Schneller. Da. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Just basic idea for reactivity. Now we can think about further steps. We could do, this was for the rotation of the core. We could do for the flexion extension, ventral dorsal. We can do combination of rotation with flexion and extension. One diagonal. We can do the other diagonal to activate the dynamic way. We can combine it with a different position of the hip joint. Up and going down. When we want the reactivity in the flex hip, we can think about pole vault. Okay, I have my asymmetric position. I don't know if it's correct, but I can work here for the core. It's up to you. It's just ideas. But this is the main activity, reactive for the core. Good. How could we do it? One for you, one for you ladies, just to try it out. I'll show it. If I don't have partner and I still want to integrate those reactive activities as a warm-up for the core, I can have 5, 2.5. Do the same for the ventral to bring it up as fast as possible and stop it immediately. Or diagonal. I can do asymmetric position. Dynamic core stability, and not always static and slow. Okay? Just try it out. Don't hurt yourself. Different movements. Ja, schon, du kannst. So we have up and down, ventral dorsal. We have the rotation. We have combined movement. I can do it in more hip flexion. I can do it more hip extension. It's again up to you. But fast. Hop. Yeah. Flex knees a little bit to have more activity. And then change the other one. Not too far. That's it. Maybe too heavy, 2.5 would be easier. Okay, relax, put it down. The same thing can be with weights for the rotation. Or to integrate abductors. And so on. You can get crazy. But again, important to know the steps down. Good. We go to movement. We have our line. How can we work on core stability in dynamics in the movement? We start with actually, we do it here. You two are here on the white line, 3 ladies here on the black line. So we have 2 lines, I will show it here. I tell the athletes, imagine the line is thick like this, and they will move on the line. We're skipping, and they're not allowed to leave the line. And then we start with, again, reactivity of the core for the rotation. For example, holding my arms 90 degrees, and then fast movement 90 degrees. What would be wrong? To lose the line. So even if there's a dynamic movement of the upper extremity, I should be able to hold it with my core stability. In the dynamics. Let's go. 90, 90. Quick movement. Let's go. Stay on the line. And relax. Good. We can have the same thing for the lateral core. Lateral side. Same thing. Let's go. And that's it. So you integrate the dynamics into the movement. The next step would be, we can come back, to work on core stability in the air. So what I do, we have our defined position here. You can stand in a circle, okay. All I want from you, going down, up, jump, and land. Okay? Just show us. That's it. As high as possible. When you're in the air, she will get some input from me, and her goal is to land always on the same spot. And I give her some activity for the different core activities. Let's go. Same. Come on. Up. Up. That's it. Step-by-step approach. The same in jumping. Thank you. And of course, then you can, in your position, let them start here and do this movement, and then give them the activity, step by step. But again, if you start too early to go into the specifics, the more complex the movement is, the harder it is to see the compensations. And the faster the exercise is, when you work dynamic fast, dynamic explosive, it's almost impossible to see the compensations. So when we go again all the steps back, the static positions and dynamic slow positions, movements, are the easiest for us to see a good quality of movement. And from there we move on to faster, different position, maybe some weights, dynamics, and so on. So there's a whole structure. Good. You can sit down. One more thing that is important for pole vault is the shoulder stability. I want to show you some ideas. The typical, well, in volleyball it's a pre-warm-up. The volleyball girls, they do it already in the changing room before they go on the field and warm up. Shoulder, the rotator cuff. So the typical exercises, everybody knows, adduction, internal rotation, external rotation, the same thing in 90 degrees, internal rotation, external rotation, Then they do throw movement. And also important, because many people have impingement pain in the back part, not to always work on this movement, but also the opposite movement. So this is a rotator cuff. But in pole vault, you have your, how do you call it? Pole stick. You have it here in the open chain, and then you have the closed chain because you have contact. So just to work in the open chain is a good preparation, but it's not all of the big picture. So how can we work on the rotator cuff in a closed chain? Kommst du mit der Seitstütze? Keine Kniebeugung. Okay, I start with the easy version. Small side plank. Coming up. Stehst auf kurz. Blick zum Publikum. Okay. Good. Okay. So, in the right shoulder, we have a compression, close chain, and we can start to work here. And internal rotation. Let's go. Up und nach außen. Mehr nach außen. Full range of motion. Yeah. That's it. So we have a little rotator cuff in the closed chain. We can do the same thing for the external. Up. Up. That's it. Up. Up. Perfect. So just the idea, when you analyze sport, what are the requirements? Shoulder stability activity in open chain, but also in the closed chain, like in pole vault. That's why sometimes variation of these exercises are also very effective. And then of course, with the vault, you have also the reactivity for the shoulder. So what we did for the core, we'll do now also for the shoulder. Please come. We will show first all the variations, and then we do again 2 by 2. Flex knees. Okay. Nice core. Good. Now, just one arm in the front. Extended arm. Important is, these exercises are very intense. So, if you do it longer than 10-20 seconds, it might be too much. So be aware, don't do it too long. The same principle, but now, not the core, but just the shoulder. Reactivity. Let's go. Up. Relax. We do different position. External rotation of the arm. Up. Relax. I can do internal rotation. I can do with the horizontal abduction. Let's go here. Up. Du kannst zurückschauen, so nah wie möglich. Schau zu mir. Relax. External rotation. Up. I can go even. Kannst dich hinknien. For pole vault. Overhead movement. Du kannst zurückschauen. Up. Up. Yeah. Okay, stop. Basic ideas. And then, then we can combine it. So, when I say start, you will move, and then during the fast movement, I will move my arm to the outside and so on. And let's go. Elbow point. And relax. So you see, you can combine all the movements, everything in dynamic reactivity for the shoulder. And as I heard, that pole vaulters are very asymmetric of their movement. Never forget the other side. So always work right and left. So these are, from my view, the main topics of pole vault, to summarize it. Hip mobility. Not only some swinging, but three-dimensional functional dynamic movements. Core stability, of course, not only pole vault, for everything. Core stability. The pelvis stability with the abductors as a zone between core and legs. If this is not working, they can have a six-pack, they can have big arms, they will lose it here. So check the abductors. And then also shoulder core reactivity dynamics. Maybe one more thing for pole vault that is also important for you is the ankle joint, because you have a lot of plyometrics and dynamics for the joint. What I see many times in the gyms when they work on it, that are standing somewhere in the gym and looking down, and maybe they do one leg and do some calf raises, which is okay. But again, this is just a small thing of the whole picture. When I say the whole picture, I told you the posture is the first thing. So looking down and doing some calf raises, it's not very nice for what I need. So what we could do, I lost my weights. Again, some methodical steps. Upright position, up and down. To integrate the arms, even bring it up here, up, to work more specific. Then the next thing, I can integrate more core stability over the side movement of the weights to integrate the core. I can do again directivity to integrate with it, which makes it more specific and not what we see many times in the gym, looking down flex position and working on the calf. So again, as always, go 1-2 steps back, see the big picture. Posture first, and then a systematical step-by-step approach. You can do, doesn't mean that mats in core training are bad. They are very good for the beginning. But then, when you have your transfer to the sport, go to standing, go to more specific positions. And we have still time, so I can show you one more idea how you can integrate even more dynamic pelvic stability. Please, everyone, get on your knees. So we talked about abductors. Everything you do on one leg activates the abductors. But what if the athlete has flat feet and he has no possibility to stabilize his down there? He will stand like this, and he will not be very happy. So we just cut the knee and ankle away and just let them work in the knee position. Isolated for the abductors. So, in the knee position, no contact. Maybe you're gonna knee on the back of the mat. Feet in the air. Feet in the air. Right leg in the air. Right knee in the air. Right knee is also in the air. So now we are working specifically only on the left side of the abductors. Yeah, try to get used to it. Don't lose the balance. And we start, right leg. Slowly abduction and back. And still stabilize on the closed chain left side. So we are changing the hip position again. Good. We are going to hip flexion and hip extension. Don't touch the back. Okay, we are staying in the neutral position. Now we go for activity here. Holding, imagine the weights of just the arms. One movement for the rotation, or 2 movements. So let's go. 1 movement, on my command, 1 movement. Head straight. 2 movements. One more time. Okay, change the side. Try the other side to compare. So you see the ideas. If something is not working, it doesn't mean we can't do it. Just adapt the position, and again, the goal is quality. Leg to the side and back. Leg to the front, hip flexion, hip extension. And it's important, if you see some new ideas for your training, don't do everything at the same time, many changes, step by step. And maybe if you find 1-2 things that you want to integrate, leave them for 3-4 weeks until the athletes adapt, and then change the next thing. I'm showing you progressions over weeks and months, but in 1 hour. Okay, ready? 1 movement. Ready? 3, head straight. Shoulders back, head straight. Like I said, if he's in this position, so before you I take his head and bring it up. Yeah, so first I would work on his posture before I see him like this. Ready? And up. Up. 2 movements. Up, up. Stabilize. Up, up. Okay, and relax. Great, thank you very much. So, big picture, to prevent injuries and to perform better in a sport, you need two things when we talk about basics: mobility, flexibility, and stability. The strength is just a different training method of the stabilization strength part. Mobility, flexibility is for me one topic. But don't forget to work with both of them. And again, our experience in practical work is that most of them lose their performance and they have injuries because lack of mobility and flexibility. So don't push the athletes too much, always in the gym, heavy weights. Work on the quality of the thoracic spine, the hip joint, also mobility of the ankle joint, then combine it with complex movements, bring them into the movement like we did before, and the same thing also in movement with the core stability, like we did. Everything from lying to standing positions. Everything from symmetric to asymmetric. And for your sport, right and left. Any questions? Yes. Right. When the foot is flat, what we suggest as a physiotherapist, we had the exercises with tearing the newspaper, picking up coins and everything in the 3 points, which is very good exercise to activate the muscles, but nothing will change. You can work for months, you will not have flat foot, and after 3 months, nice activity. So it's important to work like this. It's important to tell them in summer, maybe walk without shoes, play beach volleyball in the sand to activate the structures. But when it's about performance for the high jump, they should have support. Because otherwise, if everything is working up here, stability, mobility, but they're standing like this, no chance. So down there on the basics, you need a great stability and support. Okay? Any other questions? No. Okay. So I hope I could ask in theory and also in practical to open a little bit your view to the sport, away from the specific view, more to the general basic. And we believe that if you focus more on the basics, the specifics will improve. And it doesn't need a new training session. As I said, it means to integrate it into every training session. Just reserve 10, 15, 20 minutes for these exercises into your session, and you will see a better result. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you tonight. Thanks.